How's everything feeling heading into the game this weekend?
Obviously, I think anytime you play a game like this, you're excited. You're looking forward to it.
And Dempsey, that extra bit of rest, he feeling 100%?
Yeah, I think physically, I think he feels good. So it'll be nice to get him back into the team and on the field.
Pretty much expect him to play a pretty big part tomorrow then?
Yeah, I mean, Clint's always an important member of our team, so whenever he's on the field, he plays a big role.
Is everybody else? Is Jordan healthy?
Jordan's healthy, yeah.
Is Brad back to 100%?
Brad, we'll decide. We wanted to see how he got through today. He's very, very close, but we want to make sure we make the right decision. So he'll be a game time decision.
And Chad, it sounds like you said yesterday's cleared. He's 100%.
Yeah, he's cleared his whole protocol. Yeah.
LA's had a pretty stout defense this season, a lot of draws and stuff for them. What do you kind of prepare to go about breaking down a defense like that?
Well, they're definitely physical back there. Van Dam's a physical player. Stairs is a physical player. De La Garza is not shy in that regard either. So they're a team that's definitely worked on, how can I say it, just being a stronger presence in that back line. So it's a matter of us just being good with the ball, keeping possession of the ball, getting into the final third of the field.
They've had a lot of turnover between the two seasons. What's different about their team this time around than the one that came last year?
They added a lot of veteran players. When you look at Lorenowitz and you look at Cole and you look at Van Dam, bringing McGee back into the fold, those are experienced internationals and, in a couple of cases, guys who are very experienced in our league. So even though maybe they lost a couple of players, they've really gained a lot in terms of experience. And now when you got guys like Lorenowitz healthy and so forth, makes them a deeper team for sure.
Is there a connecting thread with all of Bruce's teams that you faced over the years? Is there sort of an identity that he sort of goes with and you can pick out?
I always felt when playing against Bruce, his teams always have enough quality where they're going to get some chances, but they also, will play in a manner that will allow you to get some chances. And so it really comes down to, which team can do a better job of finishing their chances. They've got players who are experienced players who sort of cheat at the right times, and that is what helps them with their counterattack. And that's something we always have to be aware of.
Is there anything in particular you think needs to happen or steps you guys can take to make sure that Clint stays healthy and physically kind of ready to take on the second half of the season?
I think we're doing those steps, as much as possible. Dave Tenney's constantly talking to him and his communication with him, and that's why we decided not to push early on. So we sort of went at a timetable that made sense and for Clint and made sense to our staff, our physical science people, and so now it's just a matter of continuing to build upon that.